So like I said, first it looked like 6, but I found out, well, my intuition was telling me it was actually 3. Okay, this is what they look like. Okay, so like I said, 2, well, actually 2 was somewhat half, and 1 was this complete circle, and clouds were just coming in. Okay, the next number in this piece is the number 4. This piece is called Section 10, 1 Metal Fiber Dream, or S10 1MTFD. And the month of August 31st, 2010, I recorded this dream inside my dream book. Today I dreamt that I stood at Asher Street, and I was in the backyard part of Asher Street. And the back part of the old house I used to live in was more or less gutted out. Actually, it was gutted out, and I was able to see each floor individually. And I noticed that further back inside the house, it was dark and dingy, and it looked like it was just the whole inside or the back part of the house, inside the house, was more or less gutted out. Then the next thing that took place in this dream was that now I found myself in front of my old home. This time I was on the terrace, and the terrace itself was falling apart. And then I yelled and yelled back into the house, the front part of the house, and I yelled and told my mother that the terrace is literally falling off the front part of the house. Then the next thing that took place in this dream was that now I found myself in some type of lab, some type of office. And in this office I seen a middle-aged black woman, and she was wearing a white, I guess, doctor's coat. And I noticed that there was a drawer in front of me, a dresser. And the black woman stood beside the dresser, and I opened up the top part of the dresser, and I noticed that I seen metal fibers inside. There was a whole bunch of metal fibers inside the top drawer, and these metal fibers were actually coming together, and they was forming a straight vertical line up. And I kind of sensed that these things, when they came together, they were starting to become alive. And then the black lady told me to hurry up and close the drawer, because if I don't, these things will grow tall up and they'll escape out of the laboratory. Okay, so I immediately closed the drawer, and the metal fibers that were growing taller collapsed, and they all fell into the drawer, and the drawer was closed completely. And then a thought came into my mind that these metal fibers somewhat reminded me of, how would I say, the metal fibers that I seen in the movie starring Keanu Reeves, the movie called The Day That the Earth Stood Still, where these fibers, or whatever these things were in the movie, The Day the Earth Stood Still, were actually going around eating up things, metals and stuff like that. And I also thought about the G.I. Joe movie that came out, I would say, a year and a half ago. And also in this movie of G.I. Joe, there was metal fibers that were sent to the Eiffel Tower in France. And these metal fibers ate up half of the Eiffel Tower. So I believe that these metal fibers were nano little machines, or as they say in the movie G.I. Joe, nanotechnology, little small machines that go after cells, or go into cells, or the molecular cell structure of things and, you know, people. So the next thing that took place inside this dream was that once I closed the drawer, the black doctor lady and I decided to walk out of this laboratory, and then we walked towards the elevator. And we go inside the elevator, and I noticed there was a well-dressed black man in the elevator with us. And I sensed that this well-dressed black man was assigned to watch over the black lady, you know, to protect her, to be like security. And then we walked out the building. And then the next thing I noticed that I didn't see the black woman anymore. So the next thing that was shown to me in this dream was that now I seen another building in front of me collapsing. Okay, this building might have been the building that the lady doctor and I have exited out of. And then after I seen the building collapse, I sat down, and then I noticed a white man and a white little boy. I suspected the white man and the white little boy were related. I believe the white man was the little boy's father. And the white man handed out to me, or gave me, a what you call a fruit roll-up, and he gave me a box of Fruit Loop cereal. Then I awakened from this dream. The next number in this piece is the number 5. This piece is called Section 10. Section 10, Full Moon Dream, or S10, 4MND. In the month of November 10th, 2010, I recorded this dream inside my dream book. Today I dreamt that I might have been in a room with my father and mother. Next, I found myself in another room with strangers. Some of these strangers were white men and white women. The people I seen in this particular room wore casual wear. It felt as if it was nighttime. There was a kind of toilet embedded in the floor before us. And I noticed that there was white, I noticed there was water in the toilet, but the toilet was brown, and it had like things like pebbles floating inside. And it kind of hinted that this floor toilet, which was embedded in the floor, was clogged up. So in this dream I found myself with a plunger, and I unplunged the toilet. And oddly enough, the things that was floating in the muddy pot was floating in the muddy water. Came off to me that these things looked like Flintstones chocolate cereal, you know, the Flintstones cereal, but it's like cocoa cereal, chocolatey. Next, I found myself standing on an elevated train platform, and then I seen a train come into the station, and I noticed this train was a R train. I entered inside the R train, and I found a seat. I sat in the seat, and I noticed this car was kind of full with people, especially with black people. Outside was evening or nighttime. Then my eyes focused upon a small group of young black boys who were probably in their 20s. There were 4 of them. They appeared non-threatening. They began to sing, and they were singing a very nice song. And they sang a song to a black girl who sat across from me. Then the train came to a stop. The train door opened up, and I exit out of this car, and I go into the next car of this particular train. And this next car of this particular train that I just exit out of was the front car. And I noticed that the front car had a black conductor, and I noticed that this train had a lot of white people in it. So I sat in this train, and I noticed a white man was sitting in front of me, and I kind of sensed he was somewhat drunk, and he began to sing. And then I noticed 2 more other white guys that were around. I was sitting around the first white guy seen sitting in front of me in the street, and these 2 other individuals also appeared to be drunk, and they began to sing with the white person, the white man that first took notice of in this particular front car. And somehow I sensed that these three individuals were airplane pilots. Okay, so the train, some stops later, stopped at a particular train stop. Then I exit out of the train. Then I gone downstairs, and then when I gone downstairs, I was in an area I was not familiar with. And then all of a sudden, I felt like I should look up in the sky. Now, when I looked up in the sky, I seen the moon. It was, I guess it could have been a full moon. Then I seen something like a white mist form, let's see, on the side of the moon. And this white mist formed like a horseshoe. But this, I would say the U-shaped, horseshoe-shaped mist had like a neck that stuck out from, in the middle of it, and it was dent. Then the next thing I seen was a pyramid that formed over the moon and over the kind of like U-shaped object or mist that formed inside the moon. And inside the pyramid appeared three beings that appeared to have astronaut suits or have an astronaut helmet over their faces. And then I blurted out or thought to myself, pertaining to the it's kind of horse-shaped white mist cloud that appeared by the moon. I said to myself, the horseshoe object looks like the filament U-shaped object that was seen on the sun in October 18, 2010. And that I interpret this U-shaped object on the sun as God's Omega sign that the end is near and that judgment is on its way. So more or less I'm trying to say that this U-shaped some type of filament that appeared on the surface of the sun in October 18, 2009 astonished astronomers and other scientists, because they never seen the sun show something like horseshoe filament on the surface before. And as far as I recall, the astronomers could not find any record of the sun displaying a real long filament on the face of the sun, which I seen on the internet as well. So when I seen this filament, this white mist, kind of horseshoe white mist appeared next to a full moon, I took this also as a Omega sign from God, that judgment is on its way, that the end of days will soon be executed by the Almighty. Because the Bible does say that in the end days God will show signs in the sun, and then the moon, and then the stars. And I just like to stress that after I seen the moon and the horseshoe-like mist and the pyramid with the three beings in it, I became terrified, I became afraid. But before I left this particular dream, I noticed that I noticed an Arab-looking man. He emerged out of a deli. I would say he emerged out of a deli because he had like a white deli hat. You know how people in delis cut cold cuts, and they usually have like a white square hat on their head. Okay, well, this person was also staring up at the objects in the sky, and he expressed a look of shock as well. But he looked at the objects just for a short time, then he entered back inside the store, and then I awakened from this dream. So I just want to show you guys what I seen. Okay. Also, I'm gonna stress. In addition, in this dream, I also seen what you call an Egyptian ink. I would say an ink is like a cross. It's this way and it's down, then it has a cross. And then I seen something like an Egyptian tablet. And on this Egyptian tablet there was Egyptian writing, and the ink and the Egyptian